Arsenal win 5-0 and with a very happy Turkish. A word that came up that you said yourself hasn't come up for a long time was the word fluidity. We're talking about that a lot at the beginning of the season. Whatever word you want to use, fluidity, efficiency, but we're scoring goals. Where the hell has this come from?
Yeah, I mean, this is all I wanted to see. Because I got the whole controlling thing, but I have to say credit to Arteta again because he brought in the controlling thing. He probably knew it's going to hamper the attack a little bit while they get used to it. But in turn, he probably betted on the fact that the second half of the season, the attack will start clicking. And that's exactly what's happened. So we've got a much better side now than we did 12 months ago.
This is interesting. There's been a bit of a debate, actually. I've seen some videos done on it. Who wins, Arsenal this season versus Arsenal last season? Now, hope you don't mind me saying, but you have been on record on AFTV saying we are not better than last season. And that was probably true at the time. I want to know if you'd revise that now.
Yeah, I mean, as long as this form keeps up, because it's still what, a handful of games.
It's only 5
but
games.
But yeah, as long as this form keeps up, then I think, you know, we look a much better equipped team to handle different scenarios come the end of the season, whether that's us leading, whether that's us chasing. It looks like we're in a good position. So I think looking at it right now and expecting that this form and this mix of control and fluidity and excitement continues, then we are a much better team than we was.
Yeah, because the control's still there in some element. Like, obviously, the 11 goals in the last 2 games will be what's talked about, scoring 3 against Liverpool. But, I really enjoyed Jamie Carragher's analysis of Arsenal's win against Liverpool and the way we defended and pressed. But against West Ham and Burnley, where you're not thinking about shutting them out, you're thinking about scoring goals, and Arsenal did that. They still defended brilliantly in all those games as well.
Yeah. I think that's the case, and I think Arteta's playing it well as well with Jorginho coming in for the Liverpool one. I think regardless of Jorginho being fit for the West Ham, I think he would have rotated him because I think he would have been a lot more confident against West Ham that he doesn't need to necessarily lean on the control side, but he can lean on the Now we know we've got both. Now we know in certain games, especially going into the latter stages of the Champions League, fingers crossed, there's going to be certain games where we're going to need to control the hell out of it, and there's going to be certain games where we're going to need to go and pretty gung-ho and try and get goals. It's good to see that we can do both individually and across a 90-minute game too.
Looking at the bigger picture, are we firmly in that Liverpool City discussion, do you think? I think a lot of people were, especially after the run of defeats were on, were kind of reluctant to put us in there because it's Klopp and Guardiola, and they've been there for a long time. They've gone punch for punch with league titles before, obviously City coming out with most of them. But, 2 elite managers, 2 of the best the league's ever seen. And it felt like with the minute Arsenal beat Liverpool, people started to take us seriously in that conversation as well. But do you take us seriously in that conversation? Do you think we are well and truly amongst those 2 as well?
I think we are. I think we've just entered it. So we still need to do a lot more. But I think you just got to look at how opposition fans talk about us now in comparison to 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. Very different. Going into the season, a lot of opposition fans, pundits as well, predicting Arsenal to win the league or at least compete again.
Yeah.
So that tells me that we are. Because the one thing I've learned over the last 20 years and Arsenal being dragged through the mud is we are the most hated club. Across opposition fans, we are.
I agree with that.
Pundits included, we are. No one wants to see us win. George Graham famously said it back in the day. It still stands very relevant now. So if opposition fans are starting to, put praise in here or there, yes, they'll still take the moments against West Ham and Fulham and, bottlers and crumblers. But the reality is we are there in their conversation. So for us, long may it continue. We've just entered it. But let's not enter it and exit it without anything. Let's make sure we enter it and remain there for the foreseeable future. And major trophies need to come along the way.
Totally agree. You've watched many a great captain at Arsenal. I think we all agree Ødegaard has the potential to be a great player. Some people say he is now, but I'm talking a great. I'm using the word great very literally. Does he have potential to be a great captain?
Yeah, he does. Because I think the wants and needs of captains now are very different to 20 years ago. So it would be unfair for me to compare him to Adams and Vieira, where I don't think many will ever live up, to those 2 names. But in terms of when you look at when he came in, when you look at when he got the captaincy, everything has been on an upward trajectory since. Not all on him, of course. I give Arteta massive credit to that. But Ødegaard's proven to be a good enough leader to be part of a team that's challenged for a league title, that's got 80 points plus, be part of a team that's gone on again to do it again. And also, I think the tactical changes as well must have been a mental hump for the team to get over, because they would have known in the first half of the season that they wasn't matching the expectation of last season. And Odegaard must have been there as that, mediator between management and the team to kind of make sure everything goes by smoothly. Contracts included in that time. I think captains mean a lot to a club. I don't like how the captaincy's been, thrown about over the years, quite literally at times.
Yeah.
So I think he's not going to be the captain that I grew up on, the greats like Adams and Vieira. But if we win major trophies and he's the captain, then of course he becomes a great. It goes without saying.
And final question, was he your man of the match today?
Yeah. I think it's out of him and Saka, but I'll give it to Odegaard because, again, week on week, controlling, the shimmies were shimmying. He was getting into good positions. He was feeding the ball through. He was causing problems. And he got a beautiful
Why are you shimmying? It's your birthday.
Yeah, he's come a long way.
That was a great moment.
Yeah, he's come a long way. That was just before Christmas schedule as well. It was peak.
Yeah.
But now things are flowing, and I think Odegaard's best when a team's fluid.
Totally agree.
That's why, as much as, yes, I've been critical of Odegaard at time this season, Martinelli, Saka, Jesus, all of them. I also, honed in on the fact that not all of these players just go down in form over a year. It must be down to the tactical tweak. So in a fluid system like we've been seeing recently, in open space to run into, Odegaard thrives. So no wonder. But I think Saka deserves credit and Kivior as well.
Yeah, I thought he was great as well. Big up, Turkish.